Hello, friend. You're welcome to this important presentation. I'm actually glad that you are interested in this topic, how social media affects students' performance. I remain your facilitator, Dr. Marco Achukwujide. So let's start. What is social media? Wow. Of course, it involves a lot of things, but basically, it has to do with interactive technology that facilitate the creation, sharing, and integration of contents, ideas, interests, and other forms of expression through virtual community and networks. It has become part of our lives, especially as adults, more so for students. You hardly can see students in the university, except very restricted area, who can do without being involved in social media. All right? And there are different types of platform for social media. As listed here, it includes issues around Facebook, it includes Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, your Twitter, LinkedIn. Of course, LinkedIn is for professional, basically for career, YouTube, Snapchat, and then it has to also do with this the platform that provides for typically video calls like Skype, Google Hangouts, web videos, and all of that. So these are basically platforms that run social media. Okay? And then it's important to note that social media is could be described as double-edged sword for learning. Social media can actually has the positive parts, it has the negative impact in terms of learning, and that is why it's described as double-edged sword. So we'll quickly look at the two sides of the swords, and that will help us come to a conclusion somewhere. So let's start with the positive. Sometimes, my children could say, Daddy, I have something for you, good news and bad news. Which one do I start with first? I say, good news. As I say, let's start with the good news, right? Now, social media can actually enhance learning because it can provide platform for sharing educational resources, research findings, timely publications. Okay, you can get assignments from your teacher, you can quickly communicate to your mentor, to someone guiding you in study, and the person will quickly respond. And then it can be used for personalized learning. Someone can bring share a particular topic of interest. Okay, it can be found in social media too. So it gives an individual opportunity to learn a particular skill the person wants to learn. Another aspect is the fact that it gives you global connection. It allows the student to connect, with other friends across the world. Someone wrote a book called The World is Flat. And that is why you can be in Nigeria, you have friends in Canada, you have friends in India, you have friends in China, you have friends in Asia, different parts of the world. All right? So it gives you that connectivity. It broadens your world view. And it also supports immediate feedback. I'm a university lecturer. My project students, most often I work with them and I create a platform where we quickly interact. When they have issues, they can drop it there. I respond to them. When I want to get feedback on how they are progressing, I can quickly drop it there. Recently, I just created a pool on WhatsApp and said, how many of you have submitted your chapter 1 and 2? And then I could see where they are at a particular time in terms of timeline. So it gives room for immediate feedback. And that's a huge plus for learning. Okay? And then another thing is that it helps you to get familiar with new technologies. It creates such opportunity where you can spend your time learning new technology. It's been proved that students who are very, very good or who use social media often are always very innovative because they find out new things happening. Okay? So it improves your creativity. That's the point. And then another positive thing is that it helps in learning new skills. I have friends who have learned how to sew basically by being on social media. I have friends who have learned how to bake by being on social media. Please don't tell me that your friend has learned how to construct bridge on social media. You'll be the only one using that bridge. Alright, but basically there are a lot of things you can learn. People have learned how to do graphic, how to do web design, how to get involved in AI and all of that. These are skills you can acquire on social media platform. Now, let's consider the other side of the sword. And what is the other side of the sword? It's important to note that social media can occupy you so much so that you get distracted. Get distracted from giving attention to your study. It could affect your time management. If you are not very careful, you can be glued on the system, glued on your gadget until you have lost time doing the things that are necessary. It can also affect your concentration. Sometimes if you're not careful because you've given so much attention to social media, by the time you carry your book to read, you find it difficult focusing, bringing your mind to such a state where you can learn. Social media also can make you begin to compare yourself with others in a way that is not healthy. Self-comparison, where you begin to esteem yourself. Self-esteem is actually the fact that you are the one trying to you are the one trying to estimate your self-worth, your value. You're asked to price something, you say this thing should be cheap. And then low self-esteem is where you price that you are cheap. You accept that you are inferior. Okay, and that is what social media can do. When you begin to see people post fine pictures, fine videos where they seem to be enjoying life, whereas that thing could have been typically edited, and then you think it's real and begin to think that you are inferior to others. All right, and then it can create false expectation. You see somebody who is just standing before a friend of mine bought a house somewhere in Lagos, Nigeria. And then he saw on social media that one young lady had gone to stand in front of the house to snap beautiful picture, I think claiming that the house actually belongs to her father. And that is what we see. And then you begin to wonder what is happening to your own father. Your father is doing well. So it can create wrong expectation. And this can make you begin to think that you are inferior. And then the other thing we call cyberbullying. People have been bullied online by somebody, pretending or hiding behind the scene and talking to you in a way that makes you feel inferior. Makes you feel that you don't want it. Somebody can be abusing you online. Somebody can be doing things that you don't appreciate, but you can't reach out to the person. And then that is called cyberbullying, and it can affect your mental well-being. The issue of privacy also is of concern. Sometimes young people don't know the information to share and not to share. And if you're not careful, you share sensitive information. It can be used against you, against your family, against your career. And that becomes another key negative impact of social media. Which other impacts have we not considered? The fact that there could be misinformation somewhere. Misinformation and fake news can get a young person confused. It can get a young person disoriented. People could be preparing for exam, for instance, and somebody quickly puts on social media, the exam has been shifted to tomorrow, and you start sleeping without knowing that that was just a joke. And then others will go in and write the exam. You wake up to the reality that you've missed this exam. So there could be misinformation somewhere, and people may want to run with it. Another dangerous one that is not good for your health and your academic growth, even your career growth, is what we call addiction to social media. You see the picture of this guy carrying a lot of gadgets. He can be here forgetting to eat his meal. No wonder he's looking slim, like he's sickly. Oh my God. So, this is the impact of social media. If you're not very careful, it can make you get addicted to it, like this young man, glued to the system that he cannot be separated from the system. See this other one, like he's changed to the system that he cannot pull himself out from the system. Look at this young boy. The parents, dragging him out to say, come and do something better, come and do something else. But he finds it difficult living because it could be addiction. And that is not good for your development in career, especially in your education. Is there anyone we are missing? Yeah, the issue of health. Social media can affect your mental health. Careless use of social media platform can affect your physical health because you may even forget that you've not eaten. It can affect your eyesight. You glue your sight to that phone, to that system, to that tablet or whichever you are using. And before you know what is happening, it will affect what we call retina. And then your eyes has dimmed a little, and when there is light now you find it difficult seeing, and especially seeing things that are near or far, whichever be the case. And so it can affect your health. That's the serious point we are making. People sometimes neglect feeding well because they are glued to the social media. All right? And this is part of the negative impact of social media. Are we missing anyone? Yes, that is the point. If you are not careful, it can deprive you of your sleep. Sometimes people get into the bed, you think they are sleeping, but they are distracted and they are using their social media, their social media platform, and then end up having poor sleep, which can also affect the health of the individual, or distract you from reading your book, or even allowing you to take enough rest to be able to be in the good position to study. All right? So it can disrupt your sleep pattern. And when that is done, it can affect your cognitive capacity, your ability to retain what you are reading. And then it can also lead to what is called Facebook depression, where basically you try to feel bad because of what you have seen or what you have read or what you are thinking about the world. Facebook depression can actually be applicable to other platforms. It's just a nomenclature to represent the fact that you are connected to a community of persons who may actually not be presenting the real situation to you. And then you begin to feel that yours is different and you can begin to feel bad about it. And this is not proper for your career and your development. Okay, let me ask you a question here. I'm a teacher, and the question is this: given this picture you are seeing, what impact do you think social media is having on these children? What impact? Yeah, you're right. Innovative skill. They could be watching something somewhere and they are designing it right there in their room or in their classroom. All right, so it has positive impact. Let's look at this young girl. Which impact is it having on the lady? Yeah, she didn't sleep well, perhaps. She's distracted. And so it affects her concentration in her studies. Even in planning for your future, it can affect you. And if you are not careful, it will keep you not doing well in your study. I met a young lady recently who told me that since she got exposed to social media, it has affected academic life. In fact, she's not been doing so well. And then she's hoping to improve by bringing in a lot of discipline. And maybe that is what you need. Another one is serious distraction. You see, two of them are supposed to be reading their book, but the young man has pulled out his phone from somewhere, whereas the sister is busy writing and reading. He is busy watching something. It could be game he's playing, by the way. Sometimes it may not just be social media, but you are glued, you are attached to that game, that you cannot be focused on your study anymore. And that will go a long way affecting you. Now let's conclude by getting to the answer to this question. What is the way forward? What do you think we can do to you listening to this video, especially those of you who are young, who are students, what do you think we can do or you can do to make sure you don't become a slave to social media? What do you think you can do yet so that you maximize the benefits and be able to reduce or bring to 0 point the negative effect? What can you do? Please drop the answer on the comment section of this video. Just drop the answer there. It could guide us in our subsequent video. All right? And that is where we are concluding this discussion by saying that of a true social media is very, very important. It is important, especially to students who are in the university. Some of you who are privileged in secondary school and your parents allow you to get into social media, maybe it's also important to you. However, the negative impact is very, very serious. If it's not checked, you will regret wasting your life on social media. And so the negative impact needs to be checked and controlled so that you will not feel that negative impact for life. The truth is that in our context today, the influence of social media on students' ability to focus on their study is obviously negative. It robs you of the time you're supposed to use for your study. It denies you sleep. It affects your health. And that is why progress-minded teenagers and young persons should be deliberate in ensuring that they regulate how much time they expose themselves to social media usage and even the time they spend on digital games. If you are not careful to say, I will discipline myself, I will regulate myself, I will control myself in this business of social media, you will regret it because it's going to affect you negatively. But if you become disciplined enough, I bet you will celebrate it. I had this friend in the university. She did, a lady. She did statistics in University of Nigeria and Soccer. And she was so disciplined. Even before she entered school, she had cultivated that culture that once it's 9 o'clock, she doesn't go to social media. Well, that is personal, I could say. But that is discipline. Once it's 9 o'clock, in most cases, she will put off her phone and her parents got to know her with that. In the morning, she can continue whenever is necessary. And she came to the University of Nigeria and she studied statistics, single honor, and finished with first class honor. First class statistics. She could concentrate, she could pay attention. She knows when to get to social media and chat her friends and when to excuse herself from the business of life. And that is what gave her that honor. All right? And that is why I want to say that young people also need to be willing to discuss the negative effect of social media and digital game with their parents. If this has affected you negatively, be willing to discuss it with your parents, be willing to discuss it with your teacher or your guardian, someone you can trust, someone that can guide you. All right? And that is why I prefer your parents, because if you're not careful and you get into the wrong hand, you may also be, misguided. So discuss with people who are watching over you the negative implication of this social media, and they will guide you to make sure that you get out of the wood and begin to be the best you are born to be. Finally, do not allow social media or digital games to be your master. Don't be a slave to this, All right? I want to tell you that you can be in charge. So, be in charge of the situation and you will appreciate it. In the near future, you'll be celebrating your success, knowing that you've disciplined yourself through this stage where a lot of young people are being distracted. Don't be among them. I trust what you can do. I know you have decided to be in charge and not to be a slave to social media. Congratulations. Thank you very much for visiting this channel. Please do subscribe to this channel for more inspirational seminars. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the day. God bless you. Mercy. Cheers.